Welcome back to Eastern Kentucky, McBrayer Arena. Let's go courtside to Darren Douglas as he has Ryan Wilson, the head coach of Woodford County.
Final first-round game with head coach of the Yellow Jackets, Ryan Wilson. And Coach, your team comes out of the 41st District as a champion. Put two solid efforts together on the defensive end. Really offensively, I don't think you played as well as you had been playing, but what do you have to do tonight? I think to take another major defensive effort tonight.
Well, we've got a saying on our team that a 50-pound bag of flour will make a big old biscuit, and it just kind of states the obvious. So I think we're going to have to do the obvious. We're going to have to keep their size in front, their athleticism in front, their speed in front, and try to make them score over top.
You got to have big ball games from two of your big three, Brandon Cromwell and Nick Smith. Cromwell a junior, Smith a senior, but you got to have your point guard, Anthony Tabor, who's a sophomore, his first chance on the big stage to really control the tempo for you.
We do, big players step up in big moments and big games, and this is one of those moments for sure. But, we got some youth that we'll have to overcome, but I like the way our guys look. We had a good couple days of preparation, so they're comfortable, they're relaxed, they're focused, and I'm excited to see what happens.
Matter of fact, you have the best undersized five-man probably in the state of Kentucky in Corey George, and he is an absolute rebounding machine. It seems like he gets a hand on every ball that comes off the basket.
Well, he's going to have his hands full tonight, but that's just what Corey does. He does a great job of getting his rebounds, getting his extra possessions, and so that's just something that we're going to expect him to do tonight.
You're back to full strength. I see Hunter Penn, who's missed the last several weeks with a broken collarbone, is back in uniform. Will we see action tonight?
This is just kind of a reward. Just hey, you're part of the team. We want you to come on out and be a part of this. So he's not going to play. It's just we're letting him warm up tonight.
Outside of the coach speak that you would give me, being a former player for Happy Osborne, don't give me a happyism. What do you need to do tonight besides play good defense and stay as close on the glass as you can?
Score more points.
That's a happyism. Thank you. Gary, Ryan Wilson.
Thank you very much, Darren Douglas. He was courtside with Ryan Wilson. He'll have Mike Mendenhall here in just a couple of moments. He is talking with the captains out there. It's Woodford County and Lafayette. Woodford County Yellow Jackets, they come in winners of their district tournament. They were winners of 44th District, and Lafayette was runner-up in their district to Lexington Christian over in the 43rd. That's a district that William and I covered, the 43rd District, all the girls' games, all the boys' games, and that's what we give you here on PrepSpin. We give you the girls' games as well. That's an added feature. We'll have those girls' games tomorrow night, the Final Four. The first game, it will be a dandy, as that will be a matchup between Scott County, and they would take on Dunbar. Then after that, it will be Franklin County. Franklin County will battle Lafayette. So in just a couple of moments here, Darren will have the head coach of Lafayette. That'll be Mike Mendenhall. We'll step out here, come back, and we'll try to grab Coach Mendenhall. It is Woodford County, Lafayette here at the 11th Region Tournament after this.
take a little walk with me. I'll keep you in good company and be there for you till the end. You'll never be alone, my friend.
This is where it all started, right here on this farm. We may have grown over the years, but we've never lost sight of what was important to us. We're continuing that tradition today, and we always will be for generations to come.
Hi, I'm Mark Morris, owner of JVM Motorsports. These days, it seems like conflict and division are everywhere. So having a family you can count on is more important than ever. Here at JVM, that's just what our sales and associates are. A family that loves motorsports. And that's why most of our employees have been with us for years. And it's how they'll treat you too, just like family. Because a family that rides together stays together. JVM Motorsports, we're not just a dealership, we're a destination.
Lexington Women's Health is an all-female OBGYN practice in Lexington made up of board-certified obstetricians, gynecologists, certified nurse midwives, and physician assistants. We are supported by a well-trained and compassionate staff. We work as a team to attend to each of our patients as if they were our sisters, friends, or neighbors. We have experience, both professional and personal, to help you through almost any situation. Chances are, whatever you face, we've been there. Visit LexingtonWomens.com for more information.
At Lexington Diagnostic Center, we love athletes.
We understand that when you are injured, the results of an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray can be the only thing keeping you off the field.
And that's what we're here for.
Same or next day appointments, front door parking, and our on-site radiologists make it easy for you to quickly get the results you and your doctor need. Call and compare prices.
We can save you hundreds of dollars.
We would love to help get you back in the game.
At White, Greer, and Maggard Orthodontics, we believe that greatness is in the details. Each decision we make is for the benefit of our patients and our community. This means using industry-leading technology to help you achieve your goals and uncover your perfect smile. Our precision and efficiency results in an experience that is both pleasurable and affordable. White, Greer, and Maggard Orthodontics, applying precision and elegance to your smile.
All S, all P, all O, R, T, S. Pick it up at all sports. Pick it up at all sports.
In Fayette Mall and allsportslex.com, locally owned and operated since 1972.
My tax refund usually helps me out, but this year it was much lower than what it was supposed to be. This isn't enough to get me caught up.
Who has to have a big ball game for you tonight that has been struggling recently?
Well, you know, that's the beauty about us. It's not just one person. I just think we need to shoot the ball well. We need to play with confidence. You know, we were 4-4 in our last 4 games, but we lost 3 to a Lexington Christian team that's playing really well and 1 to a Trinity team that's not bad either. So we just got to remember what got us here and who we are, and I think if we do that, we'll be fine.
What an understatement that Trinity's pretty well, huh?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Well, Coach, good luck tonight, and we'll see who comes out this one.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, Darren Douglas. It is Woodford County and Lafayette out of Lexington, Kentucky. Woodford County out of Versailles, Kentucky. And we'll have the starting lineups here in a couple of minutes from the public address announcer, Gary Ball, William Warfield producing, and, of course, Darren Douglas on color in this one. Woodford County comes in, a team that in the 11th region's had some success. And the Woodford County Yellow Jackets, 17 wins on the season. They are led on their attack by Brandon Cromwell. He's the son of a coach. His dad used to coach at Henry Clay, so you know he's from good stock, and Brandon Cromwell is an outstanding shooter. He averages 17 points a game. He shoots 41% behind the three-point line and 74% from the free throw line, so Brandon Cromwell will be a big factor tonight for Woodford County. Lafayette comes in, as Coach Mendenhall said. They tend to play with their competition. They are a team that's streaky. They did win 20 ball games this year, so you know they're a solid ball club anytime you win 20 games against the competition they play at Lexington Lafayette. They've had a tremendous season, and they've got a kid by the name of Eric Powell, and this Eric Powell kid can play, guys. I tell you what, 14 points a game. He is a baller, and this kid is he's going to have a big game tonight for Lafayette to pull this one out, because the winner of this has got their hands full with that Scott County Cardinal basketball team that won just going away tonight against Madison Southern. Scott County waiting in that semifinal game. That will be Saturday afternoon. The 1:30 game will be Lexington Christian and Madison Central. I'm looking forward to that one. Madison Central has, of course, Isaiah Cozart. He's going for the all-time block lead in the state of Kentucky, shot blocks. He only needs 16 in that game to tie it, and he needs that many to break it. So that would be a big factor Saturday in that game. Madison Central and Lexington Christian, they'll play at 1:30. Scott County would take on the winner here. Woodford County against Lafayette. The Lafayette Generals, as I said, they come in with a 20-9 record, kind of an up-and-down season. They've played with some of the best teams in the state of Kentucky, and then they lost pretty poorly to Lexington Christian. Lexington Christian just seems to have their number this year, but Lexington Christian has a lot of teams' numbers this year. They are flat loaded. If there was ever a Lexington Christian team that could win this 11th region, it's this edition, the 18th edition of Lexington Christian, with Carter Hendrickson, Austin Hall, and Kyle Rode. And if Will Hacker keeps shooting threes like he's shooting them, look out. So Lexington Christian will be a big factor against Madison Central. That will be coming up Saturday in the semifinals at 1:30. Tomorrow night, the girls' semifinals. Don't miss those. You won't want to miss the 6:30 game, as Scott County will take on Dunbar, and then Lafayette will take on Franklin County right after that here on PrepSpin, the home for the 11th Region Basketball Tournament. We're going to go courtside here to the public address announcer here at Eastern Kentucky University for the starting lineups in tonight's second game, Lafayette and Woodford County. Here is the public address announcer.
Paul S. Greer Arena, inside Alumni Coliseum here on the campus of Eastern Kentucky University for 11th Region High School basketball action. Tonight's second game features the Generals of Lafayette High School and the Yellow Jackets of Woodford County High School. Now, let's meet our starting lineups. First, for Lafayette, out of District 43, wearing their red uniforms trimmed in white and blue at forward, a 5'10" senior, number 1, Eric Powell. At guard, a 5'10" junior, number 2, Evan Drew. At forward, a 6'1" senior, number 3, Cameron King. At guard, a 5'11" senior, number 13, Fu Diallo. At forward, a 6'9" sophomore, number 34, Ray Surratt. The Generals are coached by Michael Mendenhall III. And now for the Yellow Jackets of Woodford County, out of District 41, wearing their white uniforms trimmed in yellow and black. At guard, a 6'1" junior, number 3, Brandon Cromwell. At guard, a 5'8" sophomore, number 13, Anthony Tabor. At guard, a 5'8" junior, number 22, Ben Nash. At forward, a 6'1" junior, number 24, Corey George. And at forward, a 6'1" senior, number 42, Jaden Hamilton. Your officials for tonight's game are Nathan Sutton, Steve Meek, and Dave Anderson.
Again, for Woodford County, Cromwell, it will be George, Tabor, Nash, and Hamilton. For Lafayette, Powell, Drew, King, Surratt, and Diallo. So we're just about set for basketball for the boys' 11th region basketball tournament. And Lafayette, 20 wins on the season, and Woodford County, 17 wins on the season. Jumping up will be George at 6'2". He will go up against 6'8", Ray Surratt of Lafayette. And we're just about set for basketball here from the 11th region tournament at Eastern Kentucky University. You heard the starting lineups and the officials in tonight's game. And George tap is up. Surratt wins the tap, William.
And Gary, I just want to give a shout out to Mr. Bob Gibson watching tonight back over in Versailles, Kentucky. IT specialist now, I believe, over there. Used to be athletic director at Woodford County.
Cameron King looking at that zone defense by Woodford County. He gives it over down to Powell. Powell penetrates. He kicks it over to Diallo. Diallo to Surratt, free throw line, spins around. Now kicks it over in the corner to King. King goes to Drew now, and Drew looks back out to King. Lob down to Surratt, the big guy, catches it and puts it up. No, battle for it, and last touch by Lafayette. It'll go to Woodford County. The Jackets start with Brandon Cromwell, and he is an outstanding shooter. Coach's son. His dad used to be the head coach at Henry Clay girls basketball. Here comes Nash down the left side. Nash kicks it out. It's almost stolen. It is tipped away there by Lafayette and out of bounds, Darren. And it'll go back. They're going to give it to Lafayette, looks like.
Yeah, they're going to give it to Lafayette. Tabor got a hand on it as it was going into the hands. I believe that was Diallo that was chasing it down.
Cameron King in backcourt. He gives it up to Eric Powell. Powell works it across, and Woodford in a 2-3. No score here early on. King looking down the middle. Drew trying to go down to Surratt, and he puts it up, won't go, and rebounded by the guy you were talking about, George. He gets a lot of them.
They list him at 6'1". That might be stretching. He might be 5'10".
Nash has it on the left side. Free throw line extended. Goes down to Cromwell. It's got Surratt. Only 6'8", and it's knocked away there. Coming out there with a Drew. Drew behind the back, wraparound dribble. Gives it over to Powell. They go down low to Diallo. Gives it back to Surratt. He puts it up, and Surratt cannot make a shot right now.
He's trying to shoot it at the goal and not up on the rim, not putting it on the backboard.
Nash working it across the line. Ben Nash. Nash pounds it down. They want to get it to Tabor. He runs the show there, Darren.
He does. He's a sophomore. And
Cromwell open from three. Got it!
If he gets hot, he had the first game of the year and the first start of the year for him. He had 35 at home against Dunbar.
3-0 on the Cromwell's three-pointer out of the left side. It comes over to Diallo. Diallo skips it over to King, tapped away by Cromwell. Cromwell hustling and saves the ball as he saves it back into Hamilton. Nash, wraparound dribble, in trouble. Gives it now back over to Anthony Tabor. Tabor, just a sophomore, Darren.
He is, and transferred in from Dunbar and doing a nice job of controlling the tempo for Ryan Wilson's
Cromwell
offense.
Working on Powell, and he's going to shovel it over to his teammate, and he's fouled there, and the foul's going to go on Powell.
Next trip down defensively, I want our viewers out there, Gary, to pay attention to Woodford's zone. They play a straight 2-3. They will also match up, play a matching 2-3, and they'll also run and jump out of it with their guards.
George, he had a shot there. He was working on King, but he's looking for Cromwell the whole way. Comes over to Ben Nash. Nash holds the basketball, working on Drew. It goes in the corner now to Hamilton. Back it goes to George. Wraparound dribble. Style. He thought he was going to shoot it. Gives it back over to Hamilton. Now they come back to Tabor. Woodford County up 3-0, 5.5 to go in the first quarter.
Think about George. He will not do anything outside of his capabilities. He plays very well within himself.
Nash kicks it over now to Anthony Tabor. Tabor working the offense with Drew and him. Lafayette's in a man-to-man. 5:16 in the first. Woodford on top. They give it to Nash. He can score. Nash back to Tabor. Tabor goes baseline, puts it up, and it's no good. And rebound coming out of there with it is King, Cameron King. King pushing it down the middle, leads it out, knocked away by Nash. Right in the hands it goes to Cromwell. Cromwell down court, crossing over, stops and pops from three. Off the mark, rebounded by Surratt. Boy, he didn't have to go up very far.
No.
6'8". Here comes Drew. Evan Drew down court, kicks it over to Diallo. Diallo back over to Drew. Down low they go Surratt. He turns, lays it up and in, and he will be fouled. It will count. Surratt with his first basket. And prior to that, Darren Douglas.
He missed his first three.
Yeah, he was 0 for 3.
Well, and I will tell you this, too. Hamilton would be better suited as he's coming out right now. Play behind Surratt. Try to get him off the block. I know he likes to shoot threes, but get him off the block. See if he can create his own shot there. Don't let him Don't try to front him. That's where you get with the size. That's where you give him the advantage.
Surratt ties the game up at 3 as he makes the free throw. We're tied at 3, 4:39 in the first. And Nick Smith has checked in there. Yeah, the senior Smith's in there. He's a scorer, averages 16 points a game. Has it left side, hangs and puts it up. And then I thought there was some contact there, no call.
Well, he's strong, and he'll play through contact, especially when he's going to a strong hand.
5-3. Nick Smith makes it. 4:16 to go out front, and there's a three-pointer. Back of the rim, and no good. Rebounded, coming down with it, Nick Smith. That shot was taken by Eric Powell. Powell's got to have a good game. Down low it goes to George, and he's going to be bumped by Powell. I think Powell's picked up his second.
He did, and that's just one of those fouls that, even though Lafayette is, fairly deep, your coach Mike Mendenhall III, you don't want your point guard reaching like that when he's gotten beat. Just, play good, solid defense. Challenge if you can, but don't give him a foul like that.
DeAndre Newcomb checks in for Powell. Lob out front, it goes to Smith with Cameron King on him. 5-3, Woodford on top, 3:58 to go. First quarter from the boys, 11th region. Nash open from 3, got it!
And he can shoot it as well.
Nash makes it 8-3, Woodford County. Ben Nash from the left side. 3:44 to go. Boy, that's a good sign there for those threes to be going. There's a pass going to Newcomb from Drew, and Newcomb was going down court, not even looking for the basketball.
Well, it looks like Lafayette right now needs, maybe Coach Mendenhall might need a quick timeout and have one of those
heart-to-hearts.
You better get yourself together. You're going to find yourself down a lot here. And Woodford, once they get control of the tempo and get the lead, they did in both games against Frankfort and Franklin County last week, got control of tempo, and Frankfort got so frustrated they couldn't get anything going offensively.
Right now, Lafayette just 1 of 5 from the field, 3 of 5 for Woodford County. Particularly the threes are 2 for 3. Cromwell has 1. Ben Nash has the three-pointer on the left side. It's 8-3. Yellow Jackets on top, 3:29 to go here in the first quarter. We've got a long delay here. For some reason, we're talking to the scores table over there.
Maybe the time.
Yep, getting the time adjusted over there.
Here's the thing, too. Woodford got that. I jokingly, in the game against Franklin County in the opening round of the district tournament, I said first one to 40 wins. Woodford barely got over 40, 43.
George gives it back now to Cromwell. Comes over to Smith. He crosses the 10-second line. And Smith to the basket, hanging and missed it. Rebounded by George as he went over top of Hayes and tapped around. DeAndre Newcomb's got it. As in the game now is Devontae Hayes for Lafayette. They give it over to Drew. Drew penetrates, goes to Cameron King. Open from 3. Off the mark. Skips off the rim and rebounded there on the other side. Backside by Cromwell. He brings it down court. Cromwell. Back it goes, swing it around to Nash. Nash goes in on Surratt, backs it back out of there. Nash hands it back to George. Over it comes to Tabor. Tabor down low, wide open. Nash turns and misses it, and Surratt there to rebound. Boy, Nash should have knocked that one down.
Well, he should have gone up as soon as he caught it. I don't know if he lost control of it temporarily or what.
Surratt down to the free throw line, stops, turns, and misses off the front of the rim, rebounded by George. Boy, look at George's rebound. As you mentioned, he's already got 3 rebounds in this game.
He is just a magnet. He thinks every ball coming off that rim is his.
Isn't it?
Yeah, and he doesn't care where it is. He'll start 15 feet on one side of the floor and wind up chasing one down the opposite corner.
Cromwell out top, crossover, back to the basket now, goes left side. He's working on King. A pair of threes working on each other there. Out top they go to Nash. He hands it to Smith. Smith to fire it. Come back now to Tabor.
That's not his game, though. The three's not the game. His game is slashing and getting to the rim.
Tabor angles right side, gives it back to Nash. Ben out front, trying to go to George, and it's stolen away. They lead it out to King. King taps it, and then Woodford County taps it out of bounds. It goes back to Lafayette. Lafayette just cannot get anything going here. Surratt has a 3-point bucket. He made the free throw. He's going to the bench now for Lafayette.
Well, that's going to help Lafayette in their half-court defense man-to-man because he was guarding first Nash, and he was guarding Smith. Those guys can either take him off the dribble or shoot the three because he doesn't want to come all the way out that far and defend.
Diallo's in there. King back to Drew, over Diallo. Left side free throw line extended, looking at that zone. They give to Devontae Hayes. He gives the Cameron touch pass out to Drew. Drew over to Diallo. Diallo moves in, shovels it down low, and DeAndre Newcomb puts it up, rolls out. Boy, that went halfway down there.
I know. Woodford doing a nice job, though, on their defensive glass, limiting Lafayette to 1 shot for the most part here in the first half. I don't think Lafayette's got an offensive rebound yet.
8-3, Woodford County on top. Minute 24 to go, first period. Pass over the right side. Here's Cromwell's three. That's off the mark, and a long rebound chased down by Diallo. Pass down low, Newcomb over to Hayes, up and in. Devontae Hayes running the floor. That's just hustle right there by Devontae, running the floor, and then a good touch pass by the quarterback, Newcomb.
Finally, Lafayette's able to get in their press after the made field goal.
George, ball knocked away by Devontae Hayes. And we had just coming into the ball game for Woodford County, Ryan Dukes in there. Dukes in the ball game.
Yep.
So they've got Cromwell, Tabor, George, Smith, and Duke. Lafayette countering with here's a pass going to George, back to Cromwell. Cromwell hit that early three, but missed the last one he took.
Yeah, well, sometimes Cromwell will fall
Smith
away.
And knocks it down. That's a 17-footer by Nick Smith. He's got a couple of buckets already. It's 10-5 Jackets. 40 seconds here in the first quarter. Gary Ball, Darren Douglas, William Warfield here on PrepSpin. In the middle, Devontae Hayes. Hayes kicks it over to King. King thought about it. Now he goes to Diallo. Little floater. Got it! 10-7. 23 seconds here. Cromwell goes in the middle now to George. Back to Cromwell. Swing it around now. Smith in trouble. Gets it to Cromwell. He goes to the basket. Put it up, no. Tapped up, no. Battle for it. Cromwell's got it. And he kicks it out now to Tabor. Tabor moves down the basket, and he banks it up and in. Tabor using glass. And that's the end of the first quarter with Tabor's bucket. It is 12-7 Yellow Jackets over Lafayette here as we head to the second quarter from the boys at 11th Region Tournament on White Greer Maggard. Game of the week. We'll be back.
My tax refund usually helps me out, but this year it was much lower than what it was supposed to be. This isn't enough to get me caught up. What am I supposed to do?
Is this happening to you? We're Atkinson, Sims, and Kermode.
Bankruptcy could be your best solution.
We're here to give you a fresh financial start.
Say no to debt. Get your bankruptcy started for as little as $78 today. The consultation is free in Lexington and now in London.
By the numbers, Whitaker Bank loves the Kentucky communities we serve.
There are 50 Whitaker Bank locations serving Kentucky communities just like mine.
61 Whitaker Bank ATMs throughout Kentucky make getting quick access to cash easy.
Whitaker Bank staff serves the needs of nearly 70,000 Kentucky customers every day.
We share your passion, Kentucky. Love the bank that loves you back. Whitaker Bank is uniquely Kentucky.
And we're back here for the second quarter action. Woodford County on top, 12-7 by 5 over Lafayette. And Darren, what'd they do to get this 5-point lead?
Well, right now they've got control of the tempo. They're being patient. They're driving the ball. They are attacking Lafayette when they get a chance into the paint. But 9 rebounds to 5 in favor of the much smaller Yellow Jackets.
Cromwell and gets it in backcourt to George. Cromwell, and there's some contact. It's going to be called on Diallo. Diallo's going to pick up the personal.
And which Diallo is that?
There's 2 of them. This is a Alisane Diallo.
Alisane, okay. Yeah. They're not kin to the Diallo.
There's Fu Diallo and there's Ala Diallo.
Are they kin to the one at UK?
We're trying to figure that out. I told you to check on that for me.
Oh, sorry. I must not gotten that memo.
Cromwell, and he's going to be travel. They call travel on Nick Smith. I'm not sure about that.
I didn't see it in front of me. If he did travel, he might have gotten bumped.
Cameron King here in front of us. He's got to start hitting some threes here.
Yeah, well, he's not gotten a look. He got the one look, but it was challenged.
Yeah, he can shoot it from NBA 3.
Now, Woodford going to look here. They're going to tandem these two now for the first time tonight.
DeAndre Newcomb to Diallo. Working left side. Ian Shaw's checked in there for Lafayette. He has it on the left side. Shaw, back it goes to DeAndre Newcomb. Newcomb's going to bring it to Devontae Hayes. He might have walked. Yes, he did. Good call by the official. I thought he walked as soon as he got the basketball.
He did. A little late, but Jackets actually really doing a nice job of keeping the ball out of the painted area for themselves tonight.
5 of 12 shooting for Woodford. Just 3 of 10 for Lafayette. Here's a path to Smith. Goes in on Devontae Hayes. Put it up and in. Boy, Nick Smith is instant offense. He's like a microwave off that bench.
A little bit bigger than Vinny, though.
Got 6 points. Diallo in trouble. He almost had it taken by Tabor. Diallo into the paint. Kicks it over to Cameron King. There's that 3. Good. Cameron King.
Well, like any good shooter, if King gets his feet set, he's almost automatic.
Smith gets it back to Duke, and he gets it back now to Smith. Smith going base and puts it up. No good. And it's going to be a foul called.
That's a frustration foul. Nick should have finished that one. Got called for the foul back on the reaching.
They haven't put the 3 up there yet for Lye. It's 14-10.
Yeah.
And they haven't put that. Okay, finally they put it up there after about a minute.
Well, the scoreboard keeper was on the scoreboard last night for that second game, so he's probably still kind of trying to wake up a little bit.
Exactly.
That was a long game. Good game, though.
14-10. Woodford County on top of Lafayette. 6:46 here in the first half. Across the line is Evan Drew. Gets a pick from Hayes. Slices through it right side. Hands it over to Diallo. Diallo looking out to Shaw. In trouble. Gives it back to Drew. Drew. Left side. He goes now. Give it up. They give it back to Drew. Shaw gives it back now to Drew. 14-10, and Lafayette's taking their time here. 6:10 to go in the first half. Over it comes now, and just working the ball around. Shaw looking. Back out to Drew. Down low to Devontae Hayes. Hayes kicks it in the corner. And there's a shot by Diallo, though. Rebounded by who else? George.
Good block out by every other jacket, though. Everybody in a white jersey found a guy in a red jersey and put a body on him.
Cromwell's getting ready to check back in for Woodford.
Yeah, he doesn't get a lot of rest. He'll get periods of 10, 15, 20 seconds here and there.
George comes over to Nick Smith. Comes back out to Nash. Swing it around to Tabor. Down low they go now to Smith. Smith trying to post up. Wakes on Hayes and put it up and in. Boy, this Nick Smith is outstanding. He's got 8 points. He's got half the points, 16-10.
Well, that's the thing about this Woodford County team. They don't care who scores. All they want to do is win.
Diallo to Shaw. Back to Diallo. Comes back to Drew. He's open out there. He penetrates. Kicks it over in the right side, Diallo, and he puts it off glass and knocks it down. That was Fu Diallo. Quickly the other way, and a hang, and a score, and a soup, and a sandwich. Tabor.
Well, Tabor does a good job of finding where his shots are going to come. And he got, I believe that was Diallo that he had on his hip.
Back in Surratt and King for Lafayette, the big guy, and back in Cromwell for Ryan Duke for Woodford.
If I'm not mistaken, King's probably the most consistent three-point threat the Generals have.
41%.
This is what hurts Woodford. They don't shoot free throws very well.
18-12. They miss that one. Drew has it. Comes over to King, but Nash knocks it away. It's going to go back to Lafayette as Nash just hurt the momentum there for Lafayette. Just broke up the pace a little bit.
Thought he might have hurt the scores table or two. That young man plays football. Plays both sides of the ball on the gridiron as well.
18-12. Woodford on top. 4.5 to go here. First half action. Surratt trying to go to Hayes. Knocked away. And stolen coming out there with the Nash. For Woodford, Nash. Coach hands it back. Cromwell thought about it. Hands it to Smith. Smith and he just steady, just set it up.
Nash will get credit for that steal, but guess who got his hand on the ball? George. I'm serious. Any ball getting near 24 and white, seems like he gets a hand on everything.
4 minutes, 3 seconds in the first half. Woodford still leads 18-12 over Lafayette. Tabor over to Smith. Smith's been outstanding off the bench, 8 points. Gives it up out top now to Ben Nash. Smith cutting through George. Waits, hangs, puts it up. No, King taps it out, and Drew comes up with it. Evan Drew down the middle of the floor. Kicks it over to King. Here's an NBA three. Off the mark. Surratt trying to pull it out of there, but George comes out of there with it. How many rebounds for George now? 5. 5 rebounds. Tabor thought about the shot. Now hands it back now to George. He needs help. Gives it back now to Tabor. 3:20 to go in the first half. Low-scoring game, 18-12.
George had 17 rebounds in the championship game of the 41st District Championship.
How many?
17.
Cromwell Back to George. Goes over to Tabor. Right side, Devontae Hayes on him. Tabor backs it out of there and looking at Ryan Wilson, the former Erlanger Lloyd Memorial Juggernaut and Georgetown Tiger.
Yeah, and I teed him up for that happyism, didn't I?
You did.
Good grief.
Called him out.
I should have said anything. He would never come up with it on his own that quick.
George stops from 15, in and out, and good box out there by Drew. Drew really got a body in front of Nash. It goes to King. King drives and put it up and in on the left side. 5 points for Cameron. 18-14. That cuts it down to 4 with 2:35 to go here in this first half. Smith in trouble. Double team. Throws it. Saved by Tabor out near the timeline. Tabor hands it to George. George might have got away with a walk. Spins. Throws it up. No good. George gets it back. Hands it to Smith. Smith out to Cromwell. Lets a 3 go. Off the mark. And Devontae Hayes took a shot. Hayes is shaking up a little bit. It looked like he took a shot. An elbow.
Yeah, he and George are mixing it up. And tell you now, if you're Lafayette, you better find 24 and White and put a body on him, because if you don't, he's going to find a way to get the basketball when it comes off the rim.
He's got 6 rebounds, Darren. 6 of the 9.
Yeah, and the kid is phenomenal. They call Ryan Wilson likes to refer to him as their Energizer Bunny. He is just constant movement, constantly all over the place.
Right now, Darren, you're talking about free throw shooting, and you look at
they're 2 of 5 actually.
Yep. Got that one. So he missed the first one.
They lost the game to Frankfurt earlier this year. Woodford did, and they went 9 of 25 from the foul line. And that number kills me. I can't even say it without just cringing.
Eric Powell, probably the best all-around player for Lafayette's back in with those 2 fouls. Surratt's in, King's in, Tiandre Newcomb and Evan Drew. I
know Lafayette's played 9, but this is a big gamble by Coach Mendenhall.
Drew, right side it goes now. Tiandre Newcomb. Newcomb kicks it out to Powell. He hangs and draws the foul. And Powell in front of the basket, going hard to the basket, and then he was fouled hard, and he'll go to the line. And
I had no idea. That's what Anthony Tabor said to the official. He turned around and I said, I'd have fallen. That's what I can lip read as good well from here. And that's what Tabor told his senior, Jaden Hamilton. Hey, Powell came in there flying. He hit you, fall down. You might get the charge.
So Eric Powell makes this a 19-15 ball game. The Yellow Jackets on top by 4 with 1:56 to go here in this first half. The winner gets Scott County, and in and out, rebounded by George. That's his 7th rebound.
Well, he got a 5-second rest, did Corey George just now.
19-15. Cromwell to Tabor. In the middle to George. George goes down to the basket, stops from 10, put it up, no, and tapped around. And coming up with it, George. Out to Cromwell. Cromwell stops, 15-footer, short of the rim. Rebounded. Coming down with it is Tiandre Newcomb. Newcomb. Right side, there's Drew, 3-pointer, off the mark, and rebounded by Cromwell. Cromwell has it stolen by Devontae Hayes, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul call.
Hayes, yep. I think he might have gotten the ball cleanly, but I think they got him with the left arm wrapped around the waist.
That's Hayes' first to team 6. Only 3 team fouls have been called against Woodford. Only 3. That's 16 fouls right now for Lexington Lafayette. 19-15.
Lafayette crowd behind us didn't like it, but I had a pretty decent look. He had the right hand got the ball cleanly. It was the left hand they got him with wrapped around the waist.
Oh, yeah, that'll be called most of the time. Cromwell in trouble. No, he gets it up now to Tabor. Tabor gets it in the middle now to Ben Nash. He's back in there. He walked as he tried to get into the front court. He traveled with it.
That's why you jump stop, young folks. That's why you jump stop. 2-footed jump stop. You don't get called for travel.
Minute 16. Thank you for that tidbit, Darren. Minute 16 to go in the first half. Woodford leads 19-15.
I heard that enough from my head coach when I played high school ball, Gene Kirk. Jump stop, guys. Jump stop.
Evan Drew works it across very slowly for Lafayette. Goes over to Eric Powell. Back to Drew. Devontae Hayes. King. Come over to King, and King's got a 3-pointer right side. Lets it go, and he got it. That's the second 3-pointer for Cameron. 8 points, and it's a 1-point ball game. With 52 seconds to go here in the first half of action. Cromwell over to Nick Smith. Smith in trouble, and 10-second call against Woodford. 42.7 seconds They didn't get it across in 10 seconds.
I kind of glanced up. I think that was a little quick. I think they got him at 8. I looked up and it said 54, or excuse me, said 50 on the clock when I looked up. So, but Woodford doing a nice job. They've kept the tempo what they wanted. They
could take the lead here. Cameron King gives it over to Diallo. That's 3-pointer, won't go. There's Powell flying through. Puts it up and in. Powell with the offensive glass work. 20-19. Generals have their first lead of the ball game. 2019.
Powell's got to be careful. He's got his hands.
Smith. Back it goes over to Tabor. 15 seconds. Tabor in trouble. Gets rid of it. Over now to Smith. He fakes with the ball. Goes to the basket. Lays it up and in. 21-20. Woodford back on top. 3 seconds. Comes to King. He lets a 3 go, and that's off the mark. We're at halftime, and it's a close one. Woodford 21, Lafayette 20, Darren.
Well, Woodford's got the tempo where they want it. And Lafayette just quit playing defense on that last possession there. Woodford had a little trouble getting it across, and Smith started to attack. There were 2 defenders back over Lafayette. They just played Matador defense, said Ole.
Powell there at the end of the first half. That was his only basket of the first half, and it was a big one.
A big basket, but then he almost committed his 3rd foul because then he got up in the pressure defense and was whacking around and everything. Very definitely could have picked up his 3rd foul. But the Jackets have the tempo they want. They don't care if they score 30 points and win the ball game or 70 points and win the ball game. Their object is to get whatever they can, and if they win it 30, say they score 6 points the whole second half. If they win this thing 26-25, they'll take it and go home.
I tell you what, this Nick Smith kid was sensational. He had 10 points in that first half. He had nearly half of the Woodford points. They got him with 10 here. Yeah. So Nick Smith, a great job coming off that Woodford bench. Yellow Jackets 21, Lafayette Generals 20 here at halftime at Eastern Kentucky McBrayer Arena. The boys 11th region tournament. The girls will be in action tomorrow night. The Final Four. The first game will be a good one, Scott County, and they will battle Dunbar. I tell you what, there's so many angles in that game, that first girls game tomorrow night, Darren, with Dunbar battling Scott County. Of course, after that, Franklin County will take on Lafayette.
Well, Dunbar, not very deep, but they do have probably the best scorer on the floor, Emma Shayla Cecil. Now, if Cheyenne Fullwood and Elise Ellison-Coons can come back and play like they did in the district finals, as well as the game against Woodford County back on Monday night, losing track here, Monday night, then they'll have a shot at Scott County. Scott County's much deeper. They'll want to get the ball up and down the floor and get up in the 70s and 80s. So,
boy, I tell you what, they had no
contrast in style.
Had no answer for Delaney Enlow, did they?
Enlow's a beast. She is a young lady that has great size, great hands for a girl so young, and then absolute great footwork, smells the rebounds, goes and gets them. But here's the thing I think she gets overlooked for, Gary, is her passing ability out of the post.
Yeah, that's right. She's a good passer, too. Had 17 rebounds the other night as well. We'll step out. We'll come back here on PrepSpin. It is 21-20, Woodford County on top of Lafayette here on the PrepSpin.com network here, 11th Region Tournament. Folks, this is Gary Ball, and you hear my catchphrase, soup and a sandwich. When I want the best potato soup and prime rib sandwich, I head over to Rafferty's Restaurants after my games. Check out Rafferty's 9 great locations throughout Kentucky, and all you teens, you can eat at Rafferty's before those big ball games. The open prime rib sandwich is what legends are made of. Ask Joe B. Hall, the legend himself, it's his favorite. Rafferty's a big supporter of high school sports throughout Kentucky. Rafferty's, where the special is you.
I wanted to get back on the basketball court.
I want to get back to the ref I used to be.
I want to get back to gardening.
I want to get back to playing with my band.
Only one team is qualified to get patients back to living their lives. Bluegrass Orthopedics has physician experts to assist in your recovery, whether it's an injury or chronic condition. Bluegrass Orthopedics provides convenient, specialized, and comprehensive care for your unique life.
All S, all P, all O, R, T, S. Pick it up at all sports. Pick it up at all sports.
In Fayette Mall on Facebook and Twitter. Locally owned and operated since 1972.
Hi, this is Gary Ball for Crown Trophy of Lexington. Crown Trophy offers youth sports awards, corporate awards. They offer signs and a full line of promotional products. They're located at 2680 Wilhite Drive on the corner of Nicholasville, New Circle Road, just behind Starbucks. Stop by and pick up your copy of our 85-page catalog. Crown Trophy is nationally known, but locally owned with 150 stores nationwide. Crown Trophy, the official provider of plaques for the Scholastic Ball Report and PrepSpin.
I used my credit cards over the holidays, and I thought I could make it work. But between the bills and everything else, I'm really starting to fall behind.
A lot of people out there are drowning in debt.
We're Atkinson, Sims, and Kermode. You can have a brighter future away from debt.
We've come up with a way to get you started for less.
Say no to debt. Get your bankruptcy started for as little as $78 today. In Lexington and now in London.
Sitters are here.
I'm ready. Okay, kids, behave.
Man to man.
I got the little guy.
Oh, did you leave cash for the pizza?
I got it.
With more features than ever.
All right, who's hungry?
Mobile banking from Central Bank lets you deposit checks,
You're in timeout.
pay bills,
Okay, you're gonna get a rip screen.
send and receive funds with Pop Money, and more.
Hey.
So you can stay in the game without missing a step. Do more with mobile banking from Central Bank, official bank of UK Athletics.
We're back. We want to tell you about Bob Roberts Insurance. Bob Roberts Insurance. They insure 3/4 of the great state of Kentucky. They're on Main Street. They've been in business 40 years. Bob Roberts Insurance. Happy to sponsor the 11th Region Tournament. You got a special sponsor as well down there for sales.
I do. Ricardo's in the old train depot. They've actually remodeled inside, kept all the same decor. Right at the head of Main Street, you're headed towards the high school on Frankfort Street there, 110 Frankfort Street. Has a lot of great food. I know you've eaten there. Weekend specials. Steak and seafood specials on the weekend. If you work at a local restaurant establishment anywhere around, if you take in your employee card and you show them, they'll get great deals for you there. And Gary, I tell you what, have you tried the 3-cheese hot brown at Ricardo's?
At Ricardo's? No, but I'm going to give it a try.
You have to try it, brother. Very good. Go down and see Josh Westfall or Chad Henderson, the two general managers. Tell them I sent you. They'll take good care of you.
Halftime stats here, Darren.
Well, I tell you what, the game, by you look at the score 21-20, you kind of look at things and say neither team really executed, but they both took care of the basketball. 6 turnovers for Woodford, 5 for Lafayette, 3 steals for both sides, 5 assists for both sides. Also, one that jumps out at you here, Lafayette 2 of 9 from behind the arc, Woodford County 2 of 5. Both teams got to the free throw line 3 times. Lafayette hit 2, Woodford hit 1. But here's the stat that I always like to look at as soon as I get the stat sheet. Rebounding, the Jackets won the first half rebounding battle 17-11, including 5-1 on the offensive glass. That's why Woodford has a 1-point lead. Could have been bigger. They missed some easy shots inside about midway through the second quarter to extend what was at that time a 4-point lead. But
they had an 18-12 lead in the first half.
You're right, they did. But you know, Woodford's got the pace where they wanted. I know Coach Mendenhall was really afraid. Not saying I won't say afraid, but worried about whether or not his team could come out and establish getting up and down the floor. Well, his fears were proved to be right because the Jackets got control of the tempo in the first half and have held on to it right now. But not to say they haven't run, because the Jackets have run. They picked their spots. But I think Lafayette's got to come out and force the issue and force the ball up and down the floor to get it into a track meet.
Woodford 2 of 5 from 3. Cromwell hit that early one and really got it started. Nash hit one in the first quarter as well, whereas, as you mentioned, the three-point shooting 2 for 9, and, of course, King hit both of those for Lafayette.
And right now, he doesn't look like he's shooting the ball with confidence, though. A couple of times before the end of the half shot that he took there, looks like he's kind of wishing it in. Like, you know, I let it go. Maybe it didn't feel right off his hand, but I've seen him shoot the ball where he's gone on a run, hit 3 and 4 3-pointers in a row. And, you know, if you're Lafayette, you got to have that young man shooting the basketball from outside.
Well, Woodford County's done exactly what you said. They've kept Lafayette at bay because they've played their tempo. They have not allowed Lafayette to run up and down the floor at all. I don't think there's hardly been any transition baskets for Lafayette because Woodford County won't allow them to. And Woodford County in that half-court offense, Nick Smith is doing a great job taking it to the basket and getting players up in the air. He's got 10 points in the first half.
Yeah, they say 4-2 in favor of Lafayette in fast break points. And one of those was Diallo on a leak out. But the bench points, that's in favor of Woodford 10-4, but those 10 points came from Nick Smith.
And Surratt, really, with his 6'8" length, has not been a factor. He had the early three-point play, and he's got 3 rebounds. But really, a guy that's 6'8" should really dominate. Really, when you think about it.
Talking with some people about Surratt, and he has yet to develop that physical part of the game where he is 6'8", and the Jackets have been leaning on him a little bit with Hamilton, with George, and some with Smith. You know, that's the book that, you know, I keep hearing when I went around to gymnasiums. And even though I didn't cover Lafayette at all this year, I kept hearing if you play Lafayette, if anybody plays Lafayette, you got to be physical with Surratt. If you're physical with him, you can take him out of the game not only physically but mentally. I thought the best group of 5 on the floor were from Lafayette was when they had Drew, they had Powell, they had King, they had Shaw, and I believe they had one of the Diallos on there.
Or Chandra Newcomb.
Yeah. You know, when they went small and matched up with Woodford County size-wise, they actually got some things done in the offensive end. Not a very long halftime for Lafayette in the locker room. I think Coach Mendenhall may have got his point across quickly and loudly.
And Woodford County makes their way out of the locker room as well. Off to our right, Lafayette will be to our left this second half. And we'll step out. We'll take a commercial break here on PrepSpin.com with Woodford County on top, 21-20, leading Lafayette here at halftime on PrepSpin.com. Thanks to White Greer Maggard and thanks to Rafferty's Restaurants, all of our sponsors here on the network.
Take a little walk with me. I'll keep you in good company and be there for you till the end. You'll never be alone, my friend.
This is where it all started, right here on this farm. We may have grown over the years, but we've never lost sight of what was important to us. We're continuing that tradition today, and we always will be for generations to come.
Hi, I'm Mark Morris, owner of JVM Motorsports. These days, it seems like conflict and division are everywhere. So having a family you can count on is more important than ever. Here at JVM, that's just what our sales and associates are. A family that loves motorsports. And that's why most of our employees have been with us for years. And it's how they'll treat you too, just like family. Because a family that rides together stays together. JVM Motorsports, we're not just a dealership, we're a destination.
Lexington Women's Health is an all-female OBGYN practice in Lexington made up of board-certified obstetricians, gynecologists, certified nurse midwives, and physician assistants. We are supported by a well-trained and compassionate staff. We work as a team to attend to each of our patients as if they were our sisters, friends, or neighbors. We have experience, both professional and personal, to help you through almost any situation. Chances are, whatever you face, we've been there. Visit LexingtonWomens.com for more information.
Thank you very much, William Warfield. We're back here at the boys 11th region. Here's some scores from around the state of Kentucky. Graves County defeated Hickman County 88-48. That's in the first region. In the fourth region, Russell County defeated Franklin Simpson 53-38. In the fifth region, LaRue beat Bethlehem 66-32. How about this one, Darren? Eighth region, this is an upset. Gallatin County 72, Simon Kenton 69.
Gary Ball, guess what? Who called that before I got here? A friend of mine called me from Henry County, and I said, watch out for the Wildcats of Gallatin. And guess
before I give some other finals,
I pulled one out of here.
I got one for you guys, too, at the half right now. Trayvon Faulkner and his Mercer County Titans
are up on Danville 36-31 in the 12th region.
That's a good one, Danville. Paris defeated Pendleton County 51-50. That knocks Dante Allen out of the tournament.
That's a
Mr. Basketball.
That's a semi-upset because Paris is pretty good.
Scott County right here on this floor defeated Madison Southern 114-36. That was a running clock in the second quarter. Somerset in a good one over Wayne County 80-62. South Laurel defeated Harlan County 51-31. Knott County Central in the 14th. They defeated Breathitt County 53-35. In the 15th, Pikeville defeated Pike County Central 57-49. And Boyd County, boy, this was a good one over Elliott 59-55. Those are some finals from other regional
Elliott's
tournaments.
down a little bit this year. I think they were close to 500 record on the year. Isn't Knott County Central where our good friend Dave Fraley is? Was that Knox Central? Which was he at?
He's at Knox, I believe.
Yeah.
And Mr. Bob Gibson wants me to let you know that Louisville is up on #1 Virginia right now. He's watching at the stadium, watching our game here as well on his phone.
So they're up on Virginia.
They're up on Virginia.
And doesn't Duke play North Carolina this week?
Who?
Duke. Who?
Who?
We don't recognize them.
No. Neither one of those schools.
Well, they do have Trip Allen.
Scott is up on Mason right now, 45-43.
That's Covington Scott for those folks that don't know that.
That's Taylor Mill Scott for those folks.
They don't like to be called Covington Scott.
I know they're Taylor
I know,
Mill.
but when you say Scott, everybody
because
thinks
they're not Covington.
But everybody thinks you're talking Scott County.
It's not in Covington.
Well, but that's what they put in the KHSAA book. And they need to get that out of the manual, correct?
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
21-20, Darren. We got the second half action here. Woodford County. I'll tell you what, they got to keep it at this same pace here against Lafayette in the second half.
Well, they got the pace early, and then they took their spots and picked their spots to run, and they caught Lafayette flat-footed a couple times, got easy layups. So
this half, the Jackets will go to the basket off to our right. Lafayette will be to the basket off to our left. I think advantage here on shooting Lafayette because it's much harder to shoot with that open backdrop to the right.
Well, at times we've seen people on this end of the floor now who shoot very well tonight, or actually this tournament. So we'll see what happens. I mean, back in the girls' games, we saw Dunbar and Woodford both shoot very well on the open end. They struggled on the other end. So
Nick Smith led everybody with 10 points in that first half, and Cameron King had 8 points to lead Lafayette. So we'll see what happens here. It'll be Drew, Powell, Surratt, and it'll be Cameron King and also Diallo. For Woodford, it'll be Tabor, Nash, Cromwell. Also will be George, and let's see who the fifth starter is over there. That's Smith. So they got Nick Smith starting.
Yeah, he usually starts the second half since he's been coming off the bench.
Powell, Lafayette moving the ball very well here to start. Cameron King out front. Tips it back over. Down low they go to Surratt. He turns and misses and rebounded and tapped out of there, and it'll go back to Lexington Lafayette.
I thought Surratt might have been the one that got that ball, dislodged it there.
I think it was George who just
maybe,
threw it away.
But here's the thing. Watch George. He did a nice job. He was playing behind. He bodied up Surratt, and Surratt couldn't get those shoulders square.
Surratt's got to go stronger to the basket.
Yeah. They say that's not the best part of his game is
Cameron
playing strong.
King over to Drew. Drew back to King, faking with the ball, goes back to Drew to Surratt. Back to King, and he lets a three go, and it rolls in there. Nice touch by Cameron King, who has 11 now. And boy, he got the nice soft touch on that. I told you that basket over there.
Well, we saw one. We saw one just on back in the girls' first round the same way.
I told you Lafayette liked that basket.
Well,
that 23-21, Lafayette on top. Here's Nick Smith back over to Tabor in the middle to Cromwell. Cromwell fakes with it now, works it there on Diallo. Backs it back out, gives it to Tabor. Tabor works now on Evan Drew. Comes over to Ben Nash. He goes down low and fakes his shot, gives to Nick Smith. Smith pounds down the dribble, working on Cameron King.
They had a mismatch temporarily, George on Drew.
Smith kicks it in the corner. They go out to Cromwell. He's open from three. Front of the iron, no good. Let's see, can Nash chase it down? Yes, he can. Ben Nash, good rebound. Offensive. Boy, they're just killing Lafayette on the boards.
Well, Lafayette's trying to leak somebody out instead of committing all five to the defensive glass. I think you got to secure the defensive rebound before you can run.
Nash comes over to George. Tabor looking out top to Cromwell. Tabor looking down to Nash. Nash trying to post up. Brings it back out on the dribble. Works on Diallo. Now gives it up to George. George strong to the basket, hangs and won't go, and rebounded by Powell. A lot of contact there by Nash. Nash hanging all over him, no call. Long pass to King. Kicks it in the corner now to Diallo. Diallo out top to Powell. Powell goes down low, but he throws it right to Smith. He's got a 3-on-1. Smith drives down, lays it up and in.
A nice play by Smith.
We are tied at 23. Woodford and Lafayette.
A bad read by Drew there.
Sure was. He threw it right to Nick Smith. He plays for Woodford.
I didn't even see a red jersey anywhere near where that pass was headed.
I said, where's he throwing the ball?
Maybe saw somebody on the bench.
Yeah, could have been 23 all. King gives it back now to Drew. Drew hands it to Powell. Powell works in, gives it back to Drew, over to Diallo. Diallo on the dribble. Kicks it out top to Cameron King. King shovels it to Surratt. He powers it up and in.
That was created by King.
Boy, that was a good no-look pass to Surratt, wasn't it? 25-23. Lafayette by 2, 5:12 to go in the third quarter. From Eastern Kentucky's McBrayer Arena, the 11th Region Boys Basketball Tournament. Well, we got 2 good girls games tomorrow night. The girls come, I tell you what, to the basket. Cromwell almost threw it in. He draws the foul, and he will shoot 2 free throws, and Cromwell is an outstanding free throw shooter at 73%.
Wish we had how many times Woodford has turned the ball over against the Lafayette press. I can't remember one turnover against the press.
Cromwell, I know they've turned it over at least twice.
Yeah. I mean, I'm talking about in the back court and against the press. I know they've done it in the front court trying to break the press.
Yes, Cromwell knocks down the free throw. We mentioned he's a good free throw shooter. He shoots 41% from 3, but today not so much.
Gets it done in the classroom, too.
Yeah, 3.9, and that ball just hung up on the rim. Surratt tapped it to himself and rebounds it.
Got to hit free throws.
25-24. Lafayette by 1. Over to Powell. Goes to Diallo. Diallo looking back out to Evan Drew. Evan Drew over to Cameron King. Back to Drew. Drew penetrates. Kicks it over to Diallo. Right elbow. Diallo puts it down and just puts it on a yo-yo. Gives it over down to Powell. They go in the corner to Drew. Goes back to Surratt. Surratt posting up and sort of half slams it in.
That was the best
Ricky Gallen dunk.
That's the best post move I've seen Surratt do.
That's a Ricky Gallen dunk. Remember Ricky Gallen?
Yeah, wasn't he with Alabama?
27-24.
Did he play for Alabama?
Cromwell. No, he played Cincinnati. 27-24.
You're from up in that area.
Yeah, that was Ricky Gallen dunk. 27-24. Lafayette on top. Nick Smith gives it out to Nash. Nash penetrates, fakes. Right side, he gives it to George. Short. George gets a rebound and then powers it out. Goes to Tabor, lets a 3 fly, in and out. Rebounded by Surratt.
Boy, Woodford did a nice job on the glass.
Diallo gives it to Powell. Powell charges on a good no. Let's see. I think I was a little premature on my call there. Yeah. That was a block on Nash. I thought it was a charge. Sorry.
That's all right. I actually thought he got there too. But Powell took that thing strong to the basket, and he's been known to do that. He loves to slash and go hard to the rim, and Nash will give up his body. He doesn't care. He will take a hammer from somebody to get a charge.
Eric Powell knocks down the free throw.
Powell's a pretty good free throw shooter, too, isn't he?
81%.
Yeah, that's better than pretty good. When these numbers get down to 60s and 50s, and I just want to cringe. What'd you shoot your career in basketball free throw line?
About 70.
Yeah, I was around 70, 71.
Powell gets them both. Eric now with 5 points. It's 29-24.
Man-to-man press this time from Lafayette. Gary.
Lafayette extending that lead. Cromwell, and he is going to be fouled working in the front court. Foul's going to go on Evan Drew.
I'm going to give him the ESPY for that. That was a nice little acting job from Brandon. Kind of threw his head back the first time he didn't get the call. He got bumped again by Drew, and he threw his head back a second time and got the call.
How about that PrepSpin? Out to Cromwell, gives it to Tabor. You know, that open 3 by Tabor a while ago, I thought that was in.
Well, they dropped down in, popped back out.
George gives it now to Ryan Duke, who's back in there, spinning. Cromwell Over goes Nick Smith. He lets a three fly. That's off the rim. George gets hands on it, taps it around, and jump ball called, and the possession error will give it back to the Jackets.
Well, there he goes, though. George gets a hand on it again.
If he gets a hand on the ball, he's got 9 rebounds in this game.
Yeah,
9 rebounds.
And the thing is, he was in no position to even get a hand on it, and he still outworked the general defensive player there.
29-24, Lafayette with their biggest lead of 5, and Woodford County has the basketball. They go in the middle to Jory, stops from 14, got it.
That's his game right there, mid-range jump shots.
Corey George with a nice free throw line, inside the free throw line jumper. 29-26, 3-point lead for Lafayette, 2:52 to go in this third quarter. They give it to Eric Powell out front. He's going to look at that zone defense by Woodford County. Comes over on the left side to Diallo. Diallo bounces it now to Tiandre Newcomb. Goes back to Drew. Devontae Hayes is in there right now for Lafayette. Hayes has it. Goes down low. Ball slapped around and slapped away. And they're going to say last touched. Let's see who they give it back to. They're going to give it back to Lafayette. But I thought the ball was last touched by the Lafayette player.
I couldn't tell from here, but Tabor's got a career in politics. Boy, he was lobbying big time over there on the far side.
Devontae Hayes gives it back to Drew. Drew looking for cutters, goes in the middle. Devontae Hayes has it knocked away and picked back up, though, by Drew. He drives down on Cromwell, no. Devontae Hayes rebounds. It's on the floor, and let's see, out of bounds, off of Lafayette. That's good defense there. Battling in there was Ryan Duke and Cromwell.
Well, Hayes did the wrong thing. If you got a size advantage, you don't bring it down where the little guys can get to it.
Cromwell gets that inbound pass. You got the full court press by Lafayette.
You're going to run and jump a little bit now out of it.
Duke across the line, gets it over to Smith. Smith has got to get out of that double team, goes to George. And George in trouble, and we're going to have a timeout call. They get a timeout so that Corey George doesn't get tied up over there in the corner. 2 minutes to go in the third. It's the Generals 29, Yellow Jackets 26. We'll be back on PrepSpin.com.
At Lexington Diagnostic Center, we love athletes.
We understand that when you are injured, the results of an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray can be the only thing keeping you off the field.
And that's what we're here for.
Same or next day appointments, front door parking, and our on-site radiologists make it easy for you to quickly get the results you and your doctor need. Call and compare prices.
We can save you hundreds of dollars.
We would love to help get you back in the game.
At White, Greer, and Maggard Orthodontics, we believe that greatness is in the details. Each decision we make.
Back at third quarter action, and George down the middle, kicks it over now, and Duke lines up to 3, in and out. Boy, I tell you what, Ryan Duke's 3 went halfway down. 29-26. Tiandre Newcomb to Devontae Hayes, up and in.
Well, Lafayette getting a little bit more now of the open court game, but you know, Woodford's had a couple open threes that have just gone down and came out.
Throw it away. Powell gets it over to Drew. 31-26. Lafayette, a minute and a half to go in the third. They shovel it back to Hayes. He puts it up and in. Devontae Hayes, 2 quick baskets, and that's the biggest lead, 7 points Lafayette's had, 33-26.
Well, Hayes doing what he needs to do is hang around the basket, and his teammates have found him on a couple of nice dishes.
And we're going to have Cameron King back in for Lafayette. Lafayette 20 wins this season, looking for their 21st. They lead 33-26, minute 17 in the third. Gary Ball, Darren Douglas, William Warfield. Tabor across the line to the basket, and he is fouled as he goes in, and he's fouled hard as he goes down. That will send to the line Woodford County and Anthony Tabor.
So take your pick. That's either Diallo or Evans, I think.
Okay,
Hayes, I should say.
They're saying he was fouled before the shot. So
that was Diallo.
He will go out of the game. Nash comes in, and also Hamilton in. Ryan Duke, left side, going down to Nick Smith. Nick Smith, nice job posting, and that's going to be a foul called, and Nick Smith will go to the line. The foul will be on Tiandre Newcomb.
Wow, they're going to call him in the act of shooting on that rebound there. I thought maybe that was on the rebound, not the shot. I thought maybe he got fouled on the shot before that in the act.
Nick Smith averages 16 points, 4.5 rebounds. Southpaw, and he puts it free throw down. Boy, that's a big point there for Woodford. That
stops the bleeding.
Stops the bleeding. Exactly what I was going to say. 33-27. He can cut it down to 5 here, Darren, with 1:10 to go in the third.
Something Nick continues to do is he likes to dipsy do those things. He'll give those pretty boy shots, I call them, instead of taking it strong and maybe getting the and one.
He missed the second one. 33-27. Lafayette by 6. 1 minute to go in the third quarter from the boys' 11th region tournament at Eastern Kentucky University McBrayer Arena. Surratt, three-pointer out of the right side, won't go. Flying in is Diallo, and he loses a handle on it, and it goes out. Last touch by Woodford County. Goes back to Lafayette.
Yeah. Jackets not doing a very good job of finding a red shirt and blocking out. It's tougher to do out of a zone than it is out of a man-to-man. But
Ryan Duke out, George back in. Surratt, and he's triple team, put it up and turned around, and did he travel? Yes, he did. He turned it over.
He ran into the Jalen Hamilton folks who goes, they list him at 6'2", okay? He goes about 270. He was a defensive end on the Jacket football team that was winless this year, but once he sets his feet, he's not budging. You're not budging him.
Corey George comes back to Nash. Right side it goes now to Hamilton. Down low, and Smith back to Cromwell, over to Nash. Cromwell, if Cromwell gets it going here in the second, particularly in that fourth quarter, Woodford County get right back in this thing. Nash to Hamilton, back over now to Cromwell, down to 16 seconds. Cromwell to the basket, hanging, reverses it, no, and rebounded by Eric Powell. 8 seconds. Long pass to Devontae Hayes. Back to the cutter. Diallo throws it up and in. Diallo makes it 35-27. Lafayette by 8, leading the Yellow Jackets. They only scored 6 points in that quarter. We'll come back with fourth quarter action. It's Lafayette 35, Woodford County 27 here on PrepSpin.com.
At White, Greer, and Maggard Orthodontics, we believe that greatness is in the details. Each decision we make is for the benefit of our patients and our community. This means using industry-leading technology to help you achieve your goals and uncover your perfect smile. Our precision and efficiency results in an experience that is both pleasurable and affordable. White, Greer, and Maggard Orthodontics, applying precision and elegance to your smile.
All S, all P, all O, R, T, S. Pick it up at all sports. Pick it up at all sports.
In Fayette Mall and allsportslex.com, locally owned and operated since 1972.
My tax refund usually.
Welcome back here for the final quarter. Lafayette 35, Woodford County 27 here. Gary Ball with Darren Douglas and William Warfield here on PrepSpin.com. And been a good ball game, but only 6 points in that quarter for Woodford County.
Yep. Woodford only really goes about 6, maybe 7 deep. Not a real deep bench. He's got a really young bench. And that relentless Lafayette athleticism may be wearing on the Jackets now a little bit.
Newcomb angles right side. Goes to Cameron King. Back it goes Newcomb to the basket. Throws it up. No, rebounded. Coming down there with it is Nash. Nash across the timeline. Over to George. As we start the fourth quarter. Cromwell into the paint. Spinning, and he's going to be fouled before he put the shot up. And the foul will go on Diallo.
It's one of those hand check fouls.
That's the 5th team foul, so Lafayette has a couple more to give here, and then that will put Woodford in the bonus. As Hamilton goes out and Tabor back in.
Yeah, like I said, the starting 5 don't really get a lot of rest. Maybe seconds here and there.
Cromwell, trouble getting it in. Lobs it way out top to the circle line to Ben Nash. 7:32 to go in this ball game. 35-27. Lafayette on top of Woodford. Cromwell Over to Tabor. Back over to Cromwell. He fakes the three. Moves toward the basket. Hangs and scores. And he'll get the soup and the sandwich.
Nice move. Diallo thinks he got there, but thing was he turned as Cromwell approached him. Can't tell you how much intestinal fortitude it takes to stand there and let a guy hit you dead in the chest.
And that's the 4th foul on Diallo. He will go out of the ball game, and that's the 16th foul, whereas the Jackets have only committed one foul. So if he makes his free throw, which he missed, that would have cut it to 35-30. It's 35-29. Lafayette 7-10 to go. But remember, 16 fouls against Lafayette here in the second half.
You got a 6-point differential. The Jackets are 3 of 8 from the foul line.
Those 5 points. Here's almost a steal. It is by Nick Smith. He steals it, drives, and lays it up and in. Nick Smith flexing his muscles. 15 points, 35-31. Things are getting heated here in the boys' 11th region.
Here's a little run and jump that the Jackets will show out of this 2-3.
Drew in the middle. Goes to Newcomb. Back out to Powell. Back to Newcomb. Works in. Back over to Powell. Launches a three. No good. George there battling. Devontae Hayes wins that war. Misses the layup. Tapped around. Cameron King's got it and puts it up and in.
Lafayette with that size just pushed Woodford underneath the rim. Well, Hayes and George probably could have been a foul called either way on them. They really got after each other on the glass.
6:22 to go, 37-31 on that Cameron King stick back, and King has 13 now, but Nick Smith has 15. He had that steal, Darren, and took it coast to coast, laid it in.
Well, you know, you're looking at this score. If you haven't been with us from the beginning, you would think it's been a sloppily played game. It's been a poor shooting game. No, it's just both teams have been really cautious against each other. It's like two heavyweight fighters filled each other out in the first, few frames of the bout. And then, I think right now this last 6 minutes and 22 seconds, both these teams are going to really let it all hang out because neither side wants to go home and have their season come to an end.
Lafayette leads the rebounding battle right now, 23-22, even though 9 rebounds for George.
Yeah.
Lafayette winning that rebounding battle. Remember, Woodford County had a huge large in the first.
6 rebound edge at the half. But Lafayette starting to be a little bit more active on the glass. And the Jackets, as I said, they only go about 6 deep, maybe 7. And they've really got to watch the minutes of the players, of the starters, and might be getting a little bit worn down right now.
6:22 to play, 37-31. Woodford has the ball. Nash across the timeline. Picks up the pace a little bit, shovels it over to Tabor. Tabor goes baseline and gets it back now to George. They swing it back out, 6:08 to go here in the ball game. Tabor pounds it down, gives it to Nash, to George. They go over to Cromwell. He backs it back out of there, looks for a pick, comes over to Nash. Nash and Tabor bouncing through the legs. Back to George. Back it go. He's working there on King. Jumps it over to Cromwell. There's some contact. He's hit, falls down, no call. And here comes Lafayette's Tiandre Newcomb, and he is going to be tied up on a good defensive play, and the alternate possession will give it to the Jackets.
That was Corey George. He got the hand down on the basketball and just one hand. It shows you how strong George is.
I thought there was some contact over there in the corner on the Cromwell three.
I did too. But really so far away from it, we couldn't really see a really good angle of it.
Cromwell's got the basketball. No, not on the play down here, Lafayette. I thought that was a clean play.
Yeah.
The three-pointer out of the corner there.
That was why there was too many people between us.
Yeah, I know. Here's Smith, and he traveled as he tried to take it off on Drew to the basket. And we're going to take a look at that again. There it goes, and Cromwell, he went down. Maybe he was just acting. I don't know. 37-31. Williams seems to think it was a flop.
He thinks everything's a flop.
No, 5. He thought it was a fly. You thought it was a flop. I thought it was too. Yeah. And here's going to be a foul on Cromwell. He thought.
It's on Cromwell and Tabor.
Pushed off.
Cromwell.
He thought Eric Powell pushed off on him.
Well, right now, neither cheering base real happy with the officiating. They think every ball handler right now with that all farm is giving the old arm bar and discarding a little bit.
In backcourt, it goes to Evan Drew. Drew will work it across, and Drew a good ball handler. He doesn't really get credit, but he is a good ball handler.
Pretty good matchup here with Tabor.
Drew over to Newcomb, to the basket, slices, Dyson puts it up, in, and it'll count for DeAndre Newcomb. It's his first basket. That makes it 39-31. Lafayette with 4:50 to go. Still time here for Lafayette.
Still time
for Woodford.
Well, and Smith reached in, didn't need to. But here's what, as much as I've sang the praises of Corey George tonight, he's got to step in there and take that charge. Because Newcomb was out of control. You step in and take that charge, you wipe the basket off.
Tabor across the line. Woodford in need of a basket. Nash, right side. He's bumped, no call. Over to Cromwell. Cromwell penetrates, and he does lose the ball. Then the ball is going to be knocked down, and they're going to say it's knocked down by Lafayette.
Yeah, I think it said White. He didn't point, but I think I could hear him say White.
4:35 to play. The winner gets Scott County.
Yeah, you play one of these bump and grind games like this, then you guess what? You get play probably the best team in the region.
Nick Smith spins, put it up, and he draws the foul. He'll shoot two. Nick Smith will go to the line. And what a ball game he has. 15 points on 7 of 11 shooting, 4 rebounds, 2 steals for Nick Smith. He almost has his average. He averages 16. Oh, my goodness. You got to make free throws, though, Darren. I mean, that's his second miss here, and it's pretty critical.
You don't have to tell me during the regular season I cover 2 teams that you don't know what you're going to get with free throws.
And he missed them both.
I'm not talking about the girls' team at Woodford. I'm talking about Georgetown College men.
So Lafayette turns it over. They give it back to
they're getting
Woodford.
lucky there.
Yeah, they got lucky on the turnover.
You miss both free throws, and you get the ball back.
40 to 31. Ben Nash will trigger it inbounds. Nash gives it up to Corey George. He goes into the basket, hangs on Hayes, won't
Bad
go,
shot.
and rebounded by Devontae Hayes. Cameron King in the middle now to Powell. Powell almost has it stolen. And let's see, jump ball and possession arrow favors Lafayette.
Well, Lafayette right now, you've got a lead of 9 points. You're approaching the halfway point of the fourth quarter. You have to understand time, score, and situation. And I don't know where Powell was going because there was no numbers there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Eric Powell goes to Devontae Hayes. Hayes. Boy, he's a powerful guy, isn't he? Strong to the basket. Just as I said that, put it in. He's fouled.
Went right straight through Corey George.
Devontae Hayes has come in and been huge off that bench. He has 8 points.
8
4 or
points.
5 shooting, 5 rebounds.
Got an assist also.
That's the first double-digit lead we've had in this game.
Yep. Lafayette, I think their depth's starting to wear a little bit on Woodford County right now. With 4:03 to play.
Makes it 43-31. They lead Woodford County here.
Gary, let's talk about those girls
Oh, yeah.
semifinals tomorrow night, brother. I'm telling you. First game, Scott County and Dunbar. You got Michaela Cecil against the depth of Scott County. Let's see if Fullwood and Ellison Coons can come along with Cecil and give her scoring support. The second game, Franklin County Lafayette. Those two schools have combined for 4 of the last 5 11th region titles.
Little different look by Franklin County. They don't have Princess Stewart. They don't have Rebecca Cook, but they've got a young girl by the name of Kendall Talley who can flat plug.
And they don't have Malika Frank and Deja Kilborn or Anna Ariston. You can go right down the line and name that, but that Lafayette-Franklin County game, I think, could be an excellent basketball game because they both know each other so well. We'll see if Franklin County's depth and wherewithal with Joy Thacker can compete against that 2-3 zone of Lafayette.
We'll have those both those girls' Final Four games tomorrow night. Here, Woodford County has fallen to a 12-point deficit to this Lafayette team. Nash gives it over to Tabor. It's the first double-digit lead anybody's had. It's 12 points for Lafayette. Still time for Woodford though. 3:45 to play.
You got to get some stuff going to the rim and hopefully get to the foul line and stop the clock.
Nash over to Tabor, moves in, Goes trying to go in the
Can't
corners,
make that
picked
pass.
off by Tiandre Newcomb, but he stepped on the inbound line. It'll go back to Woodford County. So Woodford's catching some breaks here as far as possession of the basketball.
Yeah. Tabor can't make that pass from the top of the circle to the corner and make it a lollipop pass. He had Smith from the elbow extended. Make the easy pass.
Corey George spinning on King, faking up and under, rolls off, and King taps it. He's got the basketball. He gets it out to Drew. Drew works it in the front court, shovels it over to Hayes, and he lays it up and in Devontae Hayes. Well, Devontae Hayes has 11.
Again, that depth really starting to play a factor in this game for Lafayette.
Yep, 45-31. That's going to be a reach on King, and that'll be 1+1 for Woodford.
I don't care if you get the ball 100%. When you are square in front of the offensive player and you reach around like that, whether you touch him or not, official's going to call the foul.
So this will be the 1+1 for Corey George. George has 3 points. He's 1 for 2 at the line. He has 9 rebounds. Rolls in there, so he gets a kind roll.
Now
George.
for Woodford, 4 of the 5 starters return next year.
That's outstanding.
Smith.
Smith's a big loss. Second free throw, and he got them both.
You got some guys, young guys on that bench that can do what Nick Smith brings you as well. So they'll be returning. I don't know how many juniors does Lafayette have on their roster,
45-33.
Woodford pressing 1-2-1-1, Gary.
Drew has it. No look to Cameron King. Put it up and in. King now with 15 in the ball game. 47-33. Cromwell almost has his pocket pick by King. $47-33, $250.
I keep listening to both fan bases complaining about things. I think these guys have done a really nice job. This game has not been an easy game to call.
And here's a jump ball call. They said he tied up Tabor, and it'll be Woodford ball with 2:44 to play. It's Lafayette 47, Jackets 33.
Would you agree with games like this where they're slower paced? Because I think those run and gun games are easy to call.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe not to keep up with, but to at least call.
Nick Smith has it way out front. Smith kicks it in the corner to Ryan Duke. Duke gives it back to Smith. Smith spins and reverses it up and in. Nice reverse layup there by Nick Smith. He makes it 47-35 with 2:30 to go in this basketball game. Lafayette on top. And Darren, Lafayette has a 12-point lead. What is Ryan Wilson telling Woodford County here, down 12?
Right now, you're looking for the heart of your ball club. You're looking to see who's going to quit on you, who's going to give you everything they got as long as there's time on the clock. I had a coach that I played for 4 years at various levels of the basketball game, and he said, I don't care if you're down 20 or up 20. I want to see what you got, and I want you to leave it all on the floor, whether it's your last game of the year or you move on to the next round. And right now that's what he's going to tell his ball club. I don't know if Nick Smith has a future at the next level as far as a college basketball career. I have no idea. I think Jaden Hamilton has one on the football field if he so chooses. Those are the only 2 seniors that the Jackets have. For Lafayette, you're going to be Coach Mendenhall. You don't want to get relaxed. You don't want to create some dumb turnovers. You want to take care of the basketball. You just want to finish this game out and hopefully move on to the next round and survive and advance is what it really
Lafayette's gotten a great second half by Devontae Hayes. Devontae Hayes has come off that bench and played very well. He's given them 11 points to go with Cameron King's 15.
He has, but I'll give credit to Drew setting up Hayes. Hayes kind of hanging around those block areas, and the little point guard, Drew, has set him up on several of those.
Tiandre Newcomb in backcourt. Gets it to Eric Powell. Back to Newcomb. Looks like it'll be Scott County and Lafayette unless a miracle. Here's Cameron King, and he'll let a 3 go left side. No, they're rebounding and putting it up. No, by Powell. Coming out there with it is Cromwell.
That was Newcomb.
That was Tiandre Newcomb.
Newcomb missed that shot.
Tiandre Newcomb point blank.
Well, King's got to understand, you didn't need that. You don't need that. You're up 12.
And we're going to have a officials timeout.
I have no idea what happened.
He lost his shoe.
Cromwell ran
out of his shoe.
Blew a tire. Never heard that before? Blew a tire?
Mm-hmm.
I know you blew a few of them in your day. What? Oh, no. No.
You had a
had an issue, yeah.
issue.
Nothing that the finest in blue down in my hometown can't handle, though.
Right. Cromwell back to Nick Smith. Going in on King. Nice move. Laid it up and in. Boy, that's a nice move. He left King out there.
And used the right hand. Now you're down to 10.
19.
Got fouls to give. It can expand this game a little bit.
That's 19 for Nick Smith. 47-37. Pass down low, and let's see. They're going to give it to it to Woodford County. So it ain't over yet. A minute 35. They're down 10, 47-37.
It's a 4-possession game, but Woodford's got a couple of fouls to give as well. They got a few timeouts. A couple of baskets here, a couple of threes. Lafayette's got a little bit more of an issue to worry about than they thought. That's why that King jumper from three was not a very good shot, I think.
Work it on Drew. Hands it to Nick Smith. Smith's got to launch a three. He does. Off the mark. Cromwell flying through, but TeAndre Newcomb wins that battle.
With those long arms, too.
Newcomb to Drew.
Uh-oh.
Goes over to Devontae Hayes. He drives and puts it up and in. Boy, Hayes has been a force, hasn't he?
He has. And, again, though, that was Drew setting him up.
13 for Hayes.
Hayes needs to take Drew out for dinner after they get back to Lexington.
Corey George and put it up and drew the foul as he went to the basket, sliced and diced.
How many of your teammates in high school did you set up that you asked to take you to dinner because you set them up so much for easy baskets?
Yeah, assist. That was something. Huh? Assist.
Yeah.
We got a final score here to report. Over in the 12th region, it was Mercer County 75, Danville 51. Big second half for Mercer.
75-51, so Mercer County moves on in the semifinals.
You know, I've been following Danville quite a bit this year, Gary, and they seemed to run out of steam coming out of the locker room. I don't know what it was.
Cameron King across the line, 57 seconds to play. Ball back tapped, and they're going to give it back to Lafayette.
Yeah. Tabor does have a career in politics. I think he was lobbying again.
He does. 49-38, 56 seconds.
This Woodford team has got a 3.5 GPA as a team. How about that?
Monte Hayes has a strip by George. And Corey coming out of there with it. George down the middle. George to the basket, loses TeAndre Newcomb there battling for it. And Newcomb is going to be tied up, I believe. Coming over the top there to tie him up is Cromwell.
Lafayette fans a little upset, but what happened was Newcomb, as Cromwell started to grab the ball, he moved the ball. Cromwell went with the ball with him.
Yeah, possession arrow favors Lafayette. Timeout on the floor. 43.9 seconds. Lafayette 49. Jackets 38 here. And boy, what a classic you had last night, Darren. You and William with the call. Brian Station and Madison Central. Triple overtime. That's the first triple overtime game in 11th region history. Did you realize that?
I knew it was close. I didn't know if there had been another one or not, but I knew there had been a couple of double overtimes, and I wasn't sure if there had been a triple overtime somewhere or not.
That begs the next question for me. Madison Central, what will they have left for LCA?
Well, it depends on how tough Alan Feldhouse Jr. works them out in the next couple of days.
Well, they played a zone for the most of the first half.
They played zone the entire game for the most part.
Yeah.
The only one that played man-to-man for the majority of the second half was Isaiah Minter, and he was chasing Boss Boone all over the place.
Yeah, we'll have a packed house.
It'll be a packed house.
Yeah, LCA really talented.
LCA played very well their first-round game, but can't judge it with their competition against Frankfort.
Yeah.
So
just like you can't judge Scott County how good they are with their first round win, 114-36 over Southern.
I'm glad I'm going to be in the building for that game.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way.
There'll be people that don't even come to this region that will come to the region just to watch that game.
Yeah, it'll be a big crowd Saturday afternoon for those Final Four.
I'm betting we see Happy Osborne here.
So
I'm going to bet on that.
Here's what we got. We got the Final Four of the girls tomorrow night at 6:30 and 8:15.
And they're two good games.
Yeah,
two really good games.
Really good games. First game, Scott County will take on that very good Dunbar team, and then Franklin County. Boy, what a battle that would be with Lafayette. So, and then Saturday we got LCA playing a very good game against Madison Central, and then Scott County. It's looking like it's going to be Lafayette.
And then here's the thing too. I'm going to put my marketing hat on for the 11th region tournament, okay? And I'm not going to accept any kind of royalty fee. If you're not doing anything tomorrow night, you better get your rear end in your car and come on over here to Richmond. Let's fill this place because you're going to see two really good high school girls basketball games.
Who do we got on tap tomorrow?
We just told you. You didn't pay attention?
I didn't.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry.
Scott County and Dunbar. Game 1.
Yep.
Franklin County, Lafayette in Game 2.
That Scott County Dunbar game is going to be interesting.
Very interesting, yep.
Because Dunbar has, they're the 43rd district champions.
Yeah, Michelle Cecil will probably keep them in that game.
Yeah.
51-38, his pal hit both free throws. Lafayette.
Scott County's got a lot of size, though.
Cromwell.
The thing is, Cecil may have to have her career high in scoring, but she has to have Ellison Coons and Fullwood or Humphreys come along with her scoring.
Everybody, all starting five's got to pick up in that one.
Peyton Humphreys is deadly from that free throw line with those mid-range
She's given up a lot of her offense this year, though, to be a passer.
She's deadly, though. 51-38. Lafayette on top here of Woodford County. 30 seconds, and Cromwell will shoot 2. First one, and they miss it. Well, the free throw shooting has been the bug for Woodford tonight.
40% from the line right now. 6 of 16 from the line.
Yeah, if they were hitting their free throws, they would be right in this ball game.
The 2 seniors for Woodford County go out. Nick Smith, J.D. Hamilton.
Nick Smith, sensational.
You got Sidney Mudd in, a freshman, 23 in white.
19 for Nick Smith.
Yep. Alex Morgan, a junior. Justin Alexander, a junior. And then you got Sean Perkins, a freshman, getting ready to check in for the Jackets at the next dead ball.
Cromwell's free throw's good. So there comes Perkins to join, as Morgan, as Darren said, Alex Morgan. Also in there, Dylan Blevins.
Yeah. Oh, I promised the scorekeeper for the Jackets, I'd say hello to his parents, Mr. and Ms. Morgan, who are on vacation down in North Carolina watching tonight's ball game.
51-39 Lafayette. Tiandre Newcomb, he can just run the clock out if he so desires, and Woodford's just going to let him do that. They're not going to foul anybody. 12 seconds, 11, 51-39. Newcomb puts it down, 8 seconds. And Lafayette's going to advance. It'll be Lafayette, Scott County, Saturday afternoon. That's who everybody thought it would be. 51-39 over Woodford County. Lafayette advances. They play Scott County Saturday afternoon, the Final Four. The first Final Four game will be Lexington Christian and Madison Central. So, guys, we've got some great Final Fours coming up here in the 11th region.
I mean, the mighty 43rd right now is playing big time. Lafayette, Dunbar girls. You got
Lafayette girls.
Yeah, Lafayette girls, of course. And I really like Lafayette tomorrow. So this is a Lafayette broadcast right now. I really like Lafayette tomorrow against Franklin County. I think Franklin County's done after tomorrow.
You heard it from
girls game.
But
I will tell you this. I know both coaches very, very well.
I love Coach Stacker, let me say that, but I think it is tomorrow.
And both teams will play exactly how their coaches act. I mean, their coaches are both very, very animated, very, very high maintenance on the sidelines. They will both stomp up and down the sidelines. Eastern Kentucky maintenance crew may have to replace the maroon paint in front of both benches when those two are done. Well, I'm looking for a knockdown drag-out.
We're going to try to get Coach Mendenhall, get the beef jerky. There's the Mingy. Coach Mendenhall making his way back there to the locker room.
I don't know if he's going to get to him.
Yeah, let's take a break, and we'll come back and wrap it up here. 51-39, Lafayette wins over Woodford County.
By the numbers, Whitaker Bank loves the Kentucky communities we serve.
There are 50 Whitaker Bank locations serving Kentucky communities just like mine.
61 Whitaker Bank ATMs throughout Kentucky make getting quick access to cash easy.
Whitaker Bank staff serves the needs of nearly 70,000 Kentucky customers every day.
We share your passion, Kentucky. Love the bank that loves you back. Whitaker Bank is uniquely Kentucky.
Folks, this is Gary Ball, and you hear my catchphrase, soup and a sandwich. When I want the best potato soup and prime rib sandwich, I head over to Rafferty's Restaurants after my games. Check out Rafferty's 9 great locations throughout Kentucky, and all you teens, you can eat at Rafferty's before those big ball games. The open prime rib sandwich is what legends are made of. Ask Joe B. Hall, the legend himself, it's his favorite. Rafferty's a big supporter of high school sports throughout Kentucky. Rafferty's, where the special is you.
I wanted to get back on the basketball court.
I want to get back to the ref I used to be.
I want to get back to gardening.
I want to get back to playing with my band.
Only one team is qualified to get patients back to living their lives. Bluegrass Orthopedics has physician experts to assist in your recovery, whether it's an injury or chronic condition. Bluegrass Orthopedics provides convenient, specialized, and comprehensive care for your unique life.
All S, all P, all O, R, T, S. Pick it up in all sports. Pick it up in all sports.
In Fayette Mall on Facebook and Twitter, locally owned and operated since 1972.
Hi, this is Lafayette improves to 21-9 on the season with a 51-39 win over Woodford County, behind 15 from Cameron King and 13 William Warfield from Devontae Hayes on 6 of 7 shooting. A lot of those were layups, and they were really finding him off the bench there.
Yeah, he had a big-time game tonight, and congratulations to him and the Generals. I mean, you got to have guys like that, role players like that step up, and he certainly did.
Free throw shooting was the bug tonight for Woodford County. They were just 7 of 16 from the free throw line. If they hit those free throws, they're right in this game. They lose 51-39, so Lafayette moves on to take on Scott County.
And I'm going to throw this out there, too. Teams that start off on this right side from us, if you're looking, you're watching the floor from home from our camera view.
The open side.
The open side of the gym. It is hard to hit baskets on that side.
Yeah, I said coming out in the second half, I think Lafayette's going to like this basket a lot better than the first.
You can see it so much better.
By King, it bobbled, went up, and it came back in for him. So Lafayette wins it 51-39 over Woodford County, and Woodford County ends their season at 17-14. Again, we want to thank the broadcast crew tonight. Derek Varney, Darren Douglas on the first game, and William Warfield producing as always. This is Gary Ball. Lafayette wins it 51-39. The girls' games tomorrow night, the Final Four will start at 6:30. We'll have 6:15 pregame, and what a good one that will be. Scott County will take on Dunbar in that game. Until then, so long from McBrayer Arena on the campus of Eastern Kentucky University.